force reigns. KLW's on the front line through the battles and the pains, with a camera in the fray and the world on our screens. We're the voice of the silence, the witness of the scenes. Headlines flashing bright, from the shadows we arise, with the truth in our hands under perilous skies. Every story told is a battle we fight. Through the darkness and the fear, we bring the light. In the chaos, in the flames, we'll stand tall, with the courage to reveal through the rise and the fall. From the embers of the war to the echoes of the call, we're the eyes of the world and we'll never stall. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth lies, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. From the ruins and the wreckage, every story's told. Through the tears and the heartbreak, the bravery unfolds. In the darkest hours, when the world's torn apart, KLW brings the stories straight from the heart. With the cameras rolling through the wreckage and the pain, we capture the reality while the world remains. Every angle, every moment in the line of fire, we're the pulse of the battlefield, never to tire. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth lies, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth lies, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. Through the smoke and the ruins, we'll pierce the veil. With every breath we take and every tale, we're the heartbeat of the conflict in the shadowed frail. With KLW's vision, the truth won't fail. Stand firm, we're the beacon in the fray. Through the dust and the fury, we'll light the way. In the fight for the truth, where the heroes lay. KLW, the story's here to stay. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth lies, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. So here's to the courage and the tales we unfold. In the heart of the conflict, our story's told. KLW, with the truth we hold. In the fire of the war, our legacy bold.
You can't handle the truth!
KLW World News coming to you live from inside of the Intimidator here tonight. We have been working on this all day. I did a broadcast from here this afternoon with Jeff and Johnny, but our good friend Racer, he has been diligently working on getting this feed working. Okay, can you hear me now? Check test. Hello. All right. So maybe you should be able to now. I didn't have a reference for this in here because this is all brand new. Okay. All right. So that's dust in the air. You're seeing bugs. You're seeing all kinds of stuff. Still have to figure out how to turn off the infrared illuminator. What I was going to tell you is that this is the new spooky cam. Racer's been working on this all day. I did a show today with Jeff, Johnny, and Lee, and this thing has, and we've got two ways to control it. You can control it with with the with the with through the software, or you can do it through the joystick. But this has the brightest. Okay, uh, this is the brightest infrared illuminator I have ever seen. I am now calling it an infrared searchlight because it is obnoxious. I mean, obnoxious. You won't believe how bright this is. Okay. So these trees are over 100 yards away. Okay. And like I was saying before, with this illuminator, you can see for miles and miles and miles. And up in the top of this tree, you can count the needles in the top of that tree with that camera. You can count those needles, can't you? Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Now, this is when we go out investigating, we have to have something that has this ability, but I had no idea it would have an illuminator on it that looked like that. I mean, this is a infrared spotlight. This is all the other cameras can see this beam shining around anywhere it goes. How's that? That's what I'm talking about. So this is now so the old spooky cam is on the roof. We didn't want to put it on the mast because it's so much zoom, it'd be all over the place and vibration. So yeah, yes, you can even see the buds on the trees. I'm telling you. So, which you can see the dust in the air. So what I need to do is I need to go somewhere where there's no lights at all and turn off the illuminator and look at the stars because this camera is supposed to be 0.001 lux in black and white and or infrared and 0.003 lux in color. I'm at Racers, Claude. Yeah. So I think it's yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this. You can see the dust in the air with this thing. It is unbelievable what all you can see with this. And if you look over here on uh, This other pole here. If you look down over here, there's another PTZ over on that pole over there. And you can zoom in on it. Look at that shit. Is that crazy or is that crazy or is that crazy? Oh, that's tag number 297. So, well, yeah, this was our original spooky cam for aliens to start with. When we started out, this we had the spooky cam on here. Oh, he's turning his illuminator on at me. That shows you how bright that is. Look up to the top of this tree here. That's insane, ain't it? It's pretty good distance away. It's on the other end of the property. The tree that we're looking at here, this tree's over 100 yards away and it's over 150 feet tall. Well, this is what Racer's been working on all day. So again, I still got to figure out how to turn off the infrared illuminator and do do a few other things to it, but we'll get it all set up for you guys. Yes, definitely insane with the membrane. Yeah, Racer, I'm sure you did see a bug. All right, so there is a lot going on, folks. Like I've been saying, Racer's been working on the Intimidator all day to give you this and to give you uh, DVR capabilities, so you can see different cams, different views from inside. We're going to be installing this tomorrow. This right here is going to be the TV that goes into the dash, and that's going to allow me to see what is actually going out over the air and swap through the cameras. We've been working on this nice little device right here, and so I can pick and choose which video camera angle I want, which cameras. So we're going to have across the pan of view is going to be here. This is going to be the spooky cam up here. This is going to be the dash cam, the new 4K dash cam from inside the windshield. This is left pan of view, right pan of view. This is the front pan of view, and the two side pan of views what we normally have going down the road. This is the um, uh, left PTZ. This is the right PTZ. This is the rear PTZ. Um, and then we've got an interior cam and another one that's going to be over here. So this is getting filled out pretty quickly with everything that's going to be on here. So I'll be able to switch to these as I drive down the road and pick whichever one. I can go to a different screen. We can pull up the weather. One of the next things we're working on is getting the GPS. There's two things we're working on. One is the GPS showing exactly where I'm at in the weather map, so that you can see how close I am to a tornado or a hurricane or what have you. Because we're the only ones that are streaming in 4K um, from a news van or storm chasing. Nobody else is doing that. They're lucky to get out 1080, and we're doing it in 4K. Plus, we've got all these nice cameras that allow us to see things in the dark that others can't. This is going to be amazing here when we talk about looking out over a field or over an area and trying to see things that are at a distance. The illuminator that is on the top of this new spooky cam is ungodly bright. It's the brightest illuminator on a camera I've ever seen. Can I bump up my volume a little bit? Yeah, I guess I can. It says that I'm at 8 dB now. So, all right, check test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's all the way to 12 dB. Hopefully that did something for you. Now, FLIR is a thermal imager. This is um, this is a high resolution infrared, sees infrared light, and it has an illuminator. And the illuminator is an ungodly illuminator. It is the brightest. Um, it's the brightest uh, illuminator I've ever seen on a camera. So anyway, it's I mean, here I'll show it to you again. It's it's unreal, and it just lights up. I mean, like I said, if I go out to the desert or wherever, if I go with this thing, even out over the water, this is going to light up buoys. This is going to light up. Uh, this is going to light up boats. This is going to light up everything that I've never in my life seen an illuminator. This I don't again. I don't even want to call it an illuminator. This is an infrared spotlight. Is what this is. There's no. I mean, when you look down the street like that, and you've got the glare off of the roof of the building. I'll be honest with you, folks. That's disgusting. Look at that. That's unreal. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to see. So what I need to do is I need to figure out how to, and let me see if I can here. I'll try to do it for you guys. Um, Well, I'll let Racer play with this before I destroy it. But the great part about it is you can zoom in. And so now I've enabled the digital zoom. You see what I'm talking about there? Look at that shit. Hey, that has a 15-year warranty on it. Did you see that? Now, oh, there's a spider. Watch out for the spider. That's sickening, isn't it? I like it. All right. So what the U.S. is using against the Iranians is much better than what you're seeing here. Um, but that's the new spooky cam for the top of the Intimidator, and we're going to keep showing that to you. Uh, we wanted to get this in um, as quickly as possible because some of the places that I'm planning on going here over the next period of time, it would be very advantageous to have this on board. So, um, one of the things I've always wanted to do is prove the world is round. Yes, you can see the beam with night vision. You can easily see the beam with night vision. You can see that beam with night vision. If I was out in the middle of the desert, there was no lights around me at all, and the International Space Station went over with a set of night vision goggles, and they were looking down at the desert. If I cut that thing on and started shining around over the desert, they'd see it. You can see that. I can direct fighter jets with that thing. The beam on that is look. I've been doing this for a long time. That's the brightest freaking beam I've ever seen on any light. Uh, on any IR. That's this again. It's not an infrared illuminator. This is not an infrared illuminator. That is a fucking infrared spotlight. Okay, so to call that an infrared illuminator is like calling a flamethrower a Bic lighter. Um, illuminators are made to light things up. This blinds everything. This is impressive to say the least. So we've had a drone flying around down around Venezuela. Um, yeah, if you get to a high spot with this, you'd be able to see whatever you want to see. Um, the device is about 8 inches tall. Yeah, we can look for eyes. You'll definitely be able to see them with this. With this, you could take to um, Yellowstone National Park and look out over the fields at night and light up the eyes of all the buffalo and any other animals that are out over the prairies and the plains. This is the illuminator on this is unbelievable. All right, we got any questions about what's going on in the world? Yeah, I don't want to drag this thing all the way up to Tikaboo Peak. I did see a camera lens though. If I was going to go all the way to Tikaboo Peak, what I would carry up there. Yeah, Weed Hopper, you pay for the gas. Well, let me do this. That's that and that. Show this here real quick.
The aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, along with its escorts and embarked carrier Air Wing 8, has been redirected from its current operations in the Caribbean to the Middle East as part of a broader U.S. naval reinforcement in the region. Operating in Caribbean waters in recent months, the Ford is now expected to link up with the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group to strengthen American maritime posture amid rising tensions. The strike group originally deployed in June and was later shifted from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, where it had been supporting U.S. Southern Command missions since mid-November. According to reports, the carrier was already on station in early January when U.S. forces conducted an overnight raid in Caracas that resulted in the capture of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, with aircraft from the Ford providing operational support. Ford's crew received word of the revised deployment orders on Thursday, February 13th. The ship's company had been expecting to head back to home port in about 2 weeks, but the new tasking will extend the mission significantly, potentially making it one of the lengthier deployments in recent U.S. naval history. We have received a lot of comments regarding Iran's high-speed anti-ship ballistic.
That wasn't what that was supposed to do.
Follow a quasi-ballistic trajectory, one of the lengthier deployments in recent U.S. naval history. We have received a lot of comments regarding Iran's high-speed anti-ship ballistic missile threat in our last video titled, "How much damage can USS Gerald R. Ford inflict on Iran in 24 hours?" There are concerns that the supercarrier could be at risk. While concerns are natural and any rival must not be taken casually, U.S. Navy has a weapon to counter this scenario. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how SM-6 nullifies Iran's high-speed anti-ship ballistic missile threat. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Iran has invested heavily in anti-ship missile capabilities as a core component of its anti-access area denial A2AD strategy in the Persian Gulf and Northern Arabian Sea. Rather than competing ship for ship with the U.S. Navy, Tehran has prioritized a layered maritime strike architecture built around coastal batteries, fast attack craft, submarines, and increasingly capable high-speed anti-ship missiles. Several missile systems, particularly near hypersonic and quasi-ballistic designs, are assessed to pose credible operational challenges to U.S. carrier and surface strike groups operating in the region. At the center of concern are Iran's high-speed anti-ship missiles, which combine velocity, maneuverability, and distributed launch options. Systems such as the Khalij Fars, Hormuz 1 and 2, and variants of the Fateh 110 anti-ship ballistic missile family represent a shift beyond traditional sea-skimming cruise missiles. These weapons follow a quasi-ballistic trajectory and can reportedly reach speeds in the Mach 3 to 5 class during terminal approach. High closing velocity compresses the defensive engagement timeline for U.S. naval forces, placing a premium on early detection, tracking fidelity, and layered interceptor response. The Khalij Fars Persian Gulf missile is widely viewed as Iran's most prominent anti-ship ballistic missile, ASBM. Derived from the Fateh 110 short-range ballistic missile, it is believed to have a range on the order of 300 kilometers, approximately 185 miles, and uses electro-optical or infrared terminal guidance to home on maritime targets. Iranian sources claim a maneuvering re-entry vehicle designed to complicate interception. Zulfiqar Basir, with a speculated 700 kilometers, 435 miles range, is another weapon which has been talked about. While independent verification of real-world maritime targeting performance remains limited, the kinematic profile of these systems alone forces U.S. planners to treat these as a serious contingency threat in confined waters. The SM-6 is the latest evolution of the U.S. Navy's long-standing Standard missile lineage that dates back to the 1960s. While the missile retains the highly reliable SM-2's aerodynamic body, it integrates modernized avionics, advanced processors, and an active radar seeker derived from the AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missile. This blended design approach provided engineers with a proven flight platform paired with cutting-edge guidance technology. Marrying the AMRAAM's active seeker to the SM-2's propulsion and airframe enabled a major leap in capability. Unlike earlier Standard missiles, which depended on continuous target illumination from the launching ship, the SM-6 can guide itself during the terminal phase. Once it closes on the target, the missile's onboard radar takes over, allowing autonomous homing. This greatly enhances tactical flexibility, particularly in saturation scenarios where ships must engage multiple threats simultaneously. In terms of physical characteristics, the SM-6 is approximately 6.6 meters long, with a diameter of about 0.53 meters. Launch weight is roughly 1,500 kilograms, around 3,300 pounds. Propulsion is provided by a two-stage solid rocket system. An initial booster delivers rapid acceleration after launch, while the sustained motor carries the missile to its intercept envelope. Open-source estimates place its top speed above Mach 3.5, enabling rapid closure against both high-altitude and sea-skimming targets. The interceptor is equipped with a blast fragmentation warhead triggered by either proximity or impact fusing. Although optimized for anti-air warfare, testing has demonstrated the warhead's effectiveness against certain surface and land targets as well. The combination of high velocity, precise terminal guidance, and a substantial explosive payload gives the SM-6 the ability to neutralize a wide spectrum of threats. The missile is deployed from Mark 41 VLS vertical launch system cells, allowing it to coexist with other weapons such as the SM-2, SM-3, and Tomahawk. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers accompanying and protecting the supercarrier have 96 and 122 VLS cells, respectively. The SM-6 uses a layered and highly adaptive guidance architecture. After launch, the missile relies on its inertial navigation system, INS, to follow the planned flight profile toward the target area. During the mid-course phase, it receives in-flight corrections via a secure data link from the firing ship or another network sensor. These updates enable the weapon to continuously refine its trajectory as the tactical picture evolves. In the terminal phase, the SM-6 activates its onboard active radar seeker, allowing it to independently search for and engage the target. The missile also retains the option for semi-active radar homing, if the launching platform elects to illuminate the target, giving commanders flexibility across different engagement geometries. This multi-mode guidance scheme allows the missile to prosecute threats well beyond the radar horizon of the firing ship by leveraging off-board targeting data. One of the SM-6's most important advantages is its deep integration into network-centric warfare frameworks. Fully compatible with the Aegis combat system, the missile can ingest targeting information from a wide array of platforms, including other ships, airborne early warning aircraft, and land-based sensors. This enables the engage on remote construct, in which a surface combatant can fire at a threat it cannot directly detect with its own radar. This distributed sensor shooter model significantly extends the defensive footprint of naval forces. A destroyer or cruiser armed with SM-6 interceptors can contribute to the protection of the wider task force, nearby commercial shipping, or even coastal infrastructure against long-range aerial threats. In joint force scenarios, the missile can also be cued by sensors from the U.S. Army or Air Force, reinforcing its role as a key node in integrated air and missile defense architectures. A defining feature of the SM-6 is its multi-mission flexibility without requiring physical reconfiguration. In the anti-air warfare role, the missile is capable of engaging hostile aircraft and cruise missiles at ranges reported to approach roughly 460 kilometers, about 290 miles. In its terminal ballistic missile defense mission set, the interceptor is used to destroy incoming ballistic threats during their atmospheric re-entry phase. While not directly relevant to this video, viewers may note that recent developments have turned the SM-6 into a high-speed anti-ship weapon. Since its introduction, the missile has undergone an extensive series of flight tests and operational demonstrations that provide a clear picture of its maturity and evolving role. Overall, the SM-6 has built a strong performance record, though its more advanced missions have required incremental refinement. One of the SM-6's most publicized achievements came in the mid-2000s, when the Navy confirmed it had executed the longest-range surface-to-air intercept in its history. This milestone underscored the missile's primary mission: long-range fleet air defense against advanced aircraft and cruise missiles. Follow-on exercises showed the missile could handle complex raid scenarios, including multi-target engagements. In these air defense roles, the SM-6 has demonstrated high reliability and is now widely regarded as a mature and operationally credible interceptor. The most technically demanding mission for the SM-6 has been terminal ballistic missile defense. Initially conceived mainly as an air and cruise missile interceptor, the missile's ability to engage ballistic targets in the atmosphere required additional development. A major breakthrough came in 2017 when an SM-6 successfully intercepted a medium-range ballistic missile, MRBM, target during a U.S. Missile Defense Agency test. This demonstrated the feasibility of using the missile as a lower-tier complement to the exo-atmospheric SM-3 interceptor. However, progress in the BMD role has not been perfectly linear. Some later flight tests revealed integration and software challenges, particularly as the Navy pushed the missile into more stressing engagement conditions. These issues prompted upgrades, most notably the SM-6 Dual 2 configuration with software upgrade SWUP. This version is optimized for terminal ballistic missile defense while preserving the missile's multi-mission flexibility. Recent testing suggests the upgrades are paying off. In 2023, and again in 2024, Aegis destroyers successfully intercepted MRBM targets using the SM-6 Dual 2 in salvo scenarios. These events are especially important because they demonstrate not just single-shot success, but coordinated engagements under more realistic combat conditions. It is evident that SM-6 is well-tested. So, while Iranian anti-ship ballistic missiles are a threat, those can be handled. The large number of combined VLS cells in the carrier strike group will ensure protection even if Iran manages to launch a barrage of missiles. It is also to be noted that unlike some notions, pinpointing location of a supercarrier in an open ocean is not easy, and hitting a maneuvering warship is even harder. Further, U.S. military will likely conduct preemptive strike on launch pads and storage facilities of these missiles to reduce threats.
And he ain't kidding about that. I wanted to show you guys that because of the fact that this is what I've been talking about. The U.S. has capability against uh, these missiles that the Chinese and the Iranians have been producing. So I'm not as concerned as a lot of people are about that threat. Now, one would hope that our senior officials would quickly get in, hit what needs to be hit very quickly, and take the vast majority of those out of action before they get the opportunity to even be launched. If you can hit a bunch of those on the ground simultaneously, that's always a good thing. And personally, I think that that's doable. I think that with the number of F-22s that we have, the number of F-35s that we have, the number of B-1Bs, the number of F-18 Growlers, the number of F-15s, Ds. People who know F-15s know what I mean by the Ds. Things like that can bring the pain quite deep into some of these facilities. And so, if we were effective in taking out the primary sites of these type missiles and other, uh, as we see, large collections of weapons, because we know they like sticking them in tunnels. So I like sticking bunker busters in those tunnels too, and just taking all those out at once. It's always a great thing. I'd like to show them another 12-day war, but I'd like to show them what a war would really look like as opposed to the fucking around that we did during the last 12-day war. I would really like to, for once, okay, for once, let's just show them what the U.S. military can do. Let's just for once, one time, let's let it all hang out. Smoke them like a big dog, and let the world see how the U.S. military can just squish somebody like Iran like a bug in a matter of seconds. I mean, literally within minutes, it would be all over. And Racer is remotely playing with the camera. He is inside of the server farm, and I am out in the Intimidator, and he is manipulating the new Spooky Cam. This is a first for KLW World News. At no other time ever in the history of KLW World News has the Spooky Cam been able to have been remotely operated. And this is a prime example of it right here, as Racer's able to manipulate it. So, do we have any questions? I need to let Racer get back to work here. Got to get that whip out so we can beat him and get him back in here. Well, you can hope and pray, but you never can say. All right. Any other questions here before I let everybody go? Everybody's been good. We'll let everybody out early today. I don't know if anybody still uses the silkworm or not. That's a good question.
Save the trees.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta play this before everybody goes here.
Save the trees. Save the bees. Save the whales. Save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to care for one another. We're gonna save the fucking planet? I'm getting tired of that shit. Tired of that shit. Tired. I'm tired of fucking Earth Day. I'm tired of these self-righteous environmentalists, these white bourgeois liberals who think the only thing wrong with this country is there aren't enough bicycle paths. People trying to make the world safe for their Volvos. Besides, environmentalists don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in? A clean place to live. Their own habitat. They're worried that someday in the future they might be personally inconvenienced. Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there is nothing wrong with the planet. Nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Difference. The planet is fine. Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. It's been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just a-floating around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors, worldwide floods, tidal waves, worldwide fires, erosion, cosmic rays, recurring ice ages, and we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference? The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe. Little styrofoam. Planet will be here and we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation. Just another closed-end biological mistake. An evolutionary cul-de-sac. The planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance.
Tell him, George. Let's see here. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. Let me get I'll get Racer to fire the War Watch back up. Oh, he's playing with the camera again. Racer, did you figure out how to turn off the infrared illuminator? Can you figure that out for me, buddy? We'll see if Racer can get this taken care of here. See, this thing is supposed to have a 0.001 lux. For those of you that aren't familiar with lux, 0.001 is unbelievably dark. A human is down around 3 lux. So this is seeing, instead of 3 lux, this is seeing 0.001 lux. I could have swore I had I had it so I could turn it off earlier. Yep, we got a lot of good members here at KLW World News. A lot of good members. Racer, can we get this thing to cut off the illuminator? Yeah, illumination right. If you're day mode, no, go back to day. Yeah, that should give me what it is in color. Let's see that. Put that out in full. Yeah, look at that. That's no lights on. Oh my God, look at that. That is no lights on in color. Are you kidding me? No lights on in color at night. Wow. Let's see something here. That's crazy. That's crazy. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? That's, look at that. That's at night. It's nighttime here. It is black outside. That's off of a pole light. This is what I want to see. Wow. Look at the stars out there. Look at that. That's crazy. All right, now let's that's 3 lux, 0.003 lux. Okay. So let's see if we can go Racer, we want to change that image again. This time we want to go to, I don't know where you were at in here. I'm going to screw it up if you don't get in here quick. Yeah. No, we want to just do night. We want to turn off the illuminator. No, turn off, let's go over here and just do night on that and turn off the illuminator. I didn't do anything. It's still infrared. That's day. That shows you how good it works there, but I need to cut off the infrared illuminator when I'm in infrared. That's what we got to figure out. Yeah, that's insane for color. No, that's not going to do it. No, it only has infrared, so putting it on white might help. I don't know. Instructions. What instructions? You say anything about instructions? That's in color with no illumination. That's crazy. Put that on full screen. Yeah, like that. That's just one pole light. Y'all see that? I mean, there's a couple of lights outside, but that's one pole light. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. All right, folks. We got to get back to the War Watch. Racers got to get back to work. From inside of the Intimidator, we will be signing off. Have a great night. Where is that freaking pig? Racer! Got to add the pig.
That's all, folks.